Okay, so it's rant time, and today I am ranting about the promo packs. The promo packs were introduced in Core 20, which was a replacement for the individual promo cards that they were sending out to shops before that. So instead of the individual cards, they just gave you packs of promos that essentially the shops could use at their own discretion for anything they wanted and in any way they wanted. Now this does sound pretty good in theory, don't get me wrong. In fact, I think that the base idea is actually pretty great. However, in execution, it seems to have fallen short on a number of areas, which I will get to. A lot of these issues actually probably aren't very apparent to most of the player base, but for someone like me that works in a shop, it's actually been a bit of an issue if I'm being totally honest. I thought that perhaps these issues would get ironed out once the Throne of Eldraine promo packs were announced, but in fact they've actually only gotten worse. I'm gonna come out and say I think that Eldraine promo packs are fucking terrible if I'm being totally honest. Let's go over the first issue, and the first issue is the contents. Now, I think for most players, being a player myself, the contents are okay, but also they're kind of shit as well. So let me explain. Looking at the Core 20 promo packs, they were split into foil and non-foil promo packs, and the foil promo packs there's much less of them than the non-foils, of course, obviously. Now, why is this an issue? Well, okay, let's look at the contents of the packs themselves. For Core 20, you got Rare or Mythic from Core 20. That's good, that is a good inclusion. Then for slot 2 in the pack, you were given a stamped card from a curated list of cards. Now that, in theory, sounds fine, but for the Core 20 promo packs, a bunch of those cards were from Ixalan, so they're all getting rotated out. And now these promo packs are definitely targeted for standard players, if you ask me. Okay, great, cool, you can use these cards for 3 months if you even get them, and then they're basically useless to you. There's my first problem with them, honestly. For slot 3, you could get one of 5 chosen cards that would be the chunky border cards. They would essentially just look like the old FNM promo cards. Now this is sort of fine, except remember the packs are split into foil and non-foil, and basically nobody has given a shit about the non-foil versions of these cards. And if I'm being totally honest, I don't blame them, because the cards aren't really that great to begin with. I mean, Disfigure's okay, Thrash and Brontodon's okay. Sure, I mean, the cards are okay, but they're not good enough for me to care about a non-foil version of these cards, if I'm being totally honest. And then, for slot 4, we're given a basic land. Now, again, they're not foil, so nobody cares, because they don't look any different from any other normal basic land, so no one really gives a shit about them. No one has cared about them. I work in the shops, I can see the reception towards these cards, and nobody cares about the basic lands. Now, if, as an example, the packs could be split into foil and non-foil, but the chunky border cards and the land if the land was at least foil, I would be okay with it. However, they could have at least, if anything, printed its own version of a full art land for this pack, which I think most people would have given far bigger of a shit about. And then finally, which brings us on to strangely another problem, for slot 5, 1 in 4 packs would have an alternate art Japanese Planeswalker. Now this, I am completely fine with, and it replaces the slot 2 in the curated list. So it means that, yeah, there's some good value in these packs, especially the foil ones. However, it doesn't mean they're not without issues. This alternate art Japanese Planeswalker thing has given a sort of... You'll see what I mean when I get to Throne of Eldraine. So now we come to the Throne of Eldraine promo packs. Well, what is in them? Well, you've got the stamped version of the Rare or Mythic from Throne of Eldraine. This is totally fine. I'm completely fine with this. Then, for slot 2, you have, again, cards from curated list of cards. Hopefully we get shock lands this time, instead of the fucking check lands that get rotated out. But again, this curated list is in theory fine, and presumably none of the cards are getting rotated out this time. And then for slot 3, again, we have the chunky border cards that look like the FNM promos. But again, they're differentiating between foil and non-foil, so we just have, 1 in 4 of these cards in the non-foil packs just no one cares about. And then, another issue with the Throne of Eldraine promo packs is that you don't even have the land anymore. Now, to make a point, I'm not against having a land in these packs. I just wish that the land was either full art or just didn't look like any other random basic land, or was at least foil or something better than just a basic land. However, in Throne of Eldraine, there just isn't a basic land. Instead, they give you a promo code for Magic Arena, which essentially, right, this is awful actually, if I'm being totally honest, this is terrible. Why? Because one, it gives one less promo that shops can actually use to give to people, because not everybody plays Arena. It's free, that is free, like, it doesn't cost Wizards anything. They could essentially just print you out a giant list of codes that you could just write down to someone and give them, and they wouldn't even need to print it on the cardboard. They should be doing that, if anything, that should be the new FNM promo, is you just get free packs for Arena. I would actually be fine with that, and I think a lot of people would be fine with that. But instead, it takes up a slot in the promo packs, which is really bad for someone that works in the shop and is trying to stretch the promos that you're giving out as much as possible, which will get to another problem with the promos. And now, for Throne of Eldraine, we come to slot 5, and oh, there isn't a slot 5. So you don't even get the alternate art Japanese Planeswalkers or the Throne of Eldraine equivalent. Now, what could the equivalent be? Well, they're releasing the collector's edition of Throne of Eldraine, and even if it was maybe 1 in 6 or something like that, putting collector's edition cards into the packs would make the value so much more and actually worthwhile for the shops. But no, you don't get that. They're not in it. And that is an issue because it's just, again, less value that you're able to actually give out as prizes. Now again, the other issue, and probably perhaps the biggest issue with the promo packs, is they simply don't give you enough. Wizards are expecting you to open these packs up and distribute the cards individually, which leaves very little room for actually being able to give people like foil promo packs or whatever as actual prizes. Really, if I'm being honest, the ideal scenario would be that they give you enough that you can give a promo pack for every participant for every tournament. Now, I understand that would be giving you a lot, but for my shop, for a 3-month period, they only gave us about between 100 to 120 promo packs. Now, if you were supposed to give an FNM promo out to everybody every week that showed up for FNM, you would run out incredibly quickly. And considering that, again, they don't make these cards foil universally, it just means that there's just no value in the packs and no one actually gives a shit about them. Now, if Wizards do expect you to open up the promo packs and use the FNM promo looking cards as FNM promos, considering that not only will you run out incredibly quickly, but most people don't really care about the cards because they're not foil, it's essentially taking a quarter of the value out most of the packs that you have. And then the lands, again, is also taking another quarter of the value out of the packs. And then, when a lot of the cards in the curated list are getting rotated out, that's yet again taking more relevant value out of the packs. You know, if they had some kind of app that just generated arena codes for people that enter tournaments, that would be sick. Perhaps if you enter a tournament and your email's registered, because you've entered the tournament that week, they'll send you a code for Arena. That would be spectacular, by the way. That would be so good and solve like every single issue. Well, issues relating to FNM anyway, or any other tournament. It would get people into the shops because, oh, well, you know, I can go play the tournament and then no matter what, I get some Arena codes. That would be cool. Considering it is free. So how would I solve this issue? How would I have this work? Well, for starters, for FNM, I would bring back the FNM promos. Everybody that shows up will always get one of these promos for whatever one they want. This was a good system and people liked it. Especially when certain cards were like Llanowar Elves or Thought Erasure. Stuff like that was fantastic. In the Universal promo packs, I definitely think that they are in theory a good idea. Now, how would I work them out? I wouldn't differentiate between the non-foils and the foil packs. I would just have them all as just the normal packs, where you get a foil full art land specifically made for these packs. That would be incredible. That would be so good. Every set has their own full art lands. That'd be amazing. But because they're only in these packs, they're still actually quite hard to get if you wanted to get a full set of them, let's be honest. So the rest of the pack is easy. You get one guaranteed rare or mythic from the set the promo pack is from, and then you're guaranteed 2 rare or mythics from the standard block that is currently in rotation. So going on Throne of Eldraine again, you could get 2 rare or mythics from Core 20, War of the Spark, the 2 Ravnica sets, or indeed you could just end up with 3 mythics from Throne of Eldraine, for example. The land, like I said, is foil guaranteed, but the other 3 cards potentially can be foil as well. Which means that, in theory, you could end up with 3 foil mythics from Throne of Eldraine, but obviously that kind of shit is like never gonna happen. And on the flip side, you could just end up with like 3 random rares. Even as some kind of odd compromise for my own fantasy, you could just have 3 cards in the pack, 1 guaranteed rare mythic from the set, then 1 rare mythic from the standard block, and then 1 full art foil land. I would even take that over what we currently have, personally. And then lastly, if you enter any tournament, your email is registered to your DCI number, so if you've played through a tournament to the end, you will get some arena codes or whatever per week, depending on how many you enter, just something along the lines of that. This creates a good feedback loop. There's a great, solid selection of promos, guaranteed promos for people to go in every week to get the ones that they want. This would be the ideal scenario, and I really don't understand why they wouldn't do it. It can't be that much more of a cost, surely, to print something like this. Okay, well, I think I've ranted enough on this topic. Who knows, maybe this will filter through to Wizards or something along the lines of that. I kind of made this video as a bit of a spur of the moment thing because currently I'm feeling a little bit passionate about the subject. Hopefully you're able to follow my rants and hopefully you agree. I'm sure there's going to be some people that have certain complaints with the things that I've said, and if you do, tell me in the comment section, we can chat it out. But ultimately, I think that I do make a good point about this. Especially with the Throne of Eldraine promo packs, they are extremely underwhelming and don't really give much of an incentive for people to go in shop and play in tournaments. And in a weird way, there's not a huge amount of incentive for the shop to really push these because there's not very much in it. Which is a shame. It really is a shame. And with there being less in the Eldraine promo packs than in the Core 20 ones, it's almost as if you feel like you'd want to give full promo packs for prizes, but you can't really do that, so because there just isn't enough. Oh, and another thing, actually, if anyone says that the Throne of Eldraine Collector's Edition booster packs should be used as prizes for tournaments, you're extremely short-sighted if you don't think that brick and mortar shops basically are forced to sell these at a premium price. There's really no other way around it. They're far too good a product to not sell, and there's no way that any shop is ever really going to give them out as prizes, except for my kind of one-off thing, maybe a few. It is definitely not going to be the norm whatsoever. And I don't blame them. The amount of profit on these things is insane, and coming again from a shop's perspective, we need to make money some way. They've raised the price of the booster boxes, which is again a problem, but I suppose they haven't went up for a while, like blah blah blah, I get it, but to counteract that amount, you basically just need to sell the packs as is. There's really no wiggle room to give them as prizes. So let's just recap. The promo packs contents are underwhelming, and Wizards certainly don't give you enough in order to maintain a healthy amount of promo packs to give people per tournament, which has a feedback of potentially discouraging new players, discouraging old players from entering tournaments. Really, you want people in shop and playing tournaments, and there's definitely cool ways of going about doing that. The universal promo packs are in theory a good idea, but they're just not executed quite well enough in order to maximise the potential that they do bring. And by not just straight up giving people promo codes for Arena for playing tournaments in shop, which would be like the most stupidly good idea, because it encourages people to buy product to do well at the tournaments in shop, which then gives them promo packs just for entering the tournaments anyway. Like, that would really be great, but clearly this kind of thinking hasn't gotten through to Wizards. You got to spend money to make a little bit of money, and realistically my version doesn't really cost them all that much more anyway, so I don't see what the problem is. If anyone can see a problem with what I'm saying, then please tell me, please. Anyway, hopefully you enjoyed the video, and if you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe, especially you, Mike. I know that you enjoyed it specifically, so there's no reason for you to not subscribe. But anyway, I'll see you in the next video. Catch you later. So we made it to the end of the video. Thanks a lot, we really appreciate it. So if you did enjoy this video, again, please like, comment, and subscribe. And then also, please follow us on Facebook and Twitter and Twitch, where again, you get to watch this kind of stuff happen live. Now, we as a channel are a bit of a Magic variety channel, so we're going to be doing plenty of profiles like this, but there'll also be box openings and discussions and just various other stuff like that. So, if you enjoy it, please subscribe and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks a lot, bye.